How's your Sunday going? Mm, mm.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You look so nice. What?
You too.
Wow. Oh my God. Let me see. Okay, you added the lime. I should have done that.
You should have added the lime.
Wait.
Let's actually taste this.
It's giving. It's giving. It's giving.
Oh, it's giving. It's giving.
Mm. You know, my drink is actually good, and I'm surprised.
Why are you surprised?
Because I just kind of made it like I just threw some things together.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mm. Let me calm down because.
So you are already running.
No. No. Can you hear me well though?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? So, or should I take off my AirPods?
I can hear you, but I don't know. The music is. Can you hear the music though? Oh gosh. Not this thing trying to embarrass me. Please don't embarrass me. It's my tripod. God. Hi, Tati. Hi, Jack. Calm down. Okay, Bolu is
Exactly.
here.
Let me just pick up my book.
Let me running away. Let me running.
Pick up my book.
Hi, Bolu.
1 second, I'm just trying to fix my video because it's not coming on.
All good.
Oh, here we go. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. You're a bit quiet, but I can see you.
Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Hey guys, how are you?
You are the main focus, but for some reason.
That's okay. I don't need to be the main focus.
You have to. Excuse me. What? What do you
How are
mean?
you guys? Sorry?
Do you have your drink?
You have a drink.
I don't have an alcoholic drink yet because I've been drinking the whole weekend.
Okay.
And I'm also drinking a lot later. So I've only just got my water here.
We're not judging you at all. Welcome. Oh my God, now you being here.
Stop. It's good to see you girls.
No, good to see you too. So Mo, can you start us off?
Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to the first edition of Drinks and Gist, where we'll just hang out with your favorite authors, book talkers, just anyone really, and we'll just get to know them a little bit more. And yeah. So today we have the amazing, the award-winning, sensational Bolu Babalola, the author of Honey and Spice. So,
Hi guys.
Hi.
Finally, it's so amazing to actually see you guys and talk to you guys. I've been honestly watching your content for a while. It's honestly made me laugh so much. You guys are so great and so clever, and thank you for getting the book like you do, honestly.
I mean, you wrote it for us, so
Yeah.
I did write it for you.
For me personally.
I did write it
Oh
for
my
you
God.
personally. I did write it for you guys personally. So that's why it means the whole world that you guys actually understand it and get it.
Okay, so we saw that you went on vacation. How was that? How did that go?
It was great. It was good. I've been very, very busy, obviously, and I have a lot of projects on the go. So I wanted a quiet holiday with a group of friends in Tuscany, which is a very romantic place, to just like clear my head and like get into the creative spirit. I came up with loads of like fun stuff for like Sun Under Skin, the sequel, in there as well. And I wasn't even meant to be working, but my head was like so at peace in the like Italian countryside that it just freed up a lot of my creative energy, and it was really beautiful.
So you said like sun on the skin stuff. So is it going to be a destination wedding?
We'll see, we'll see. Well, I'm still trying to figure that out. We'll see. I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay.
But the thing with destination weddings is that, and destination and books in general, is that I also have to go there to these places, and that's expensive, and I'm very busy. So we'll see. But what I will say is that Sun Under Skin, there will be locations where it is sunny.
Okay.
Okay, amazing. Just quickly, we wanted to let you know that both of our cocktails are inspired by Honey and Spice.
Oh my gosh, tell me what's in them. Tell me what's in them. This is a very rare occasion where I'm not even drinking on a live because I usually drink on live. Not to say that I'm an alcoholic, so I'm very curious to see.
You're
Them.
not.
No,
You're not.
you're
We're all
friends.
drinking. So this is a honey and spice inspired mojito. I have some peaches and mango in here, and then I have
Ooh,
leaves. So I use like a mint tea bag. It's okay. It's a liqueur. It's a liqueur.
no, that sounds great.
And
You're trying to do it.
and then the rim is honey, and then some like Jamaican spice.
That sounds delicious. That sounds really great. What time is it over where you are, by the way?
12.
Early.
Yeah.
I like how you guys roll. I really love how you guys roll. That's how I roll too, I'm afraid. So yeah, I like it. What about you?
Mine is also an inspired mojito because we coordinated, but I use honey for the syrup, and then I have
Hmm.
jalapenos inside this for the spice.
Mm.
And it's actually, Remy has been side eyeing me this whole time.
You are too Yoruba.
Why?
It's too much. It's too much.
But it's not that bad.
There's no such thing as being too Yoruba. That's what I will say.
Exactly.
Fairs,
There's
fairs,
no such thing.
fairs. Okay. Mo, take it.
Yeah. Even speaking of Yoruba, since like you are a Yoruba baddie, I was just wondering,
Thank you.
are you fluent?
I am quite fluent, although I don't really speak it much because now that I'm not really living with my parents, obviously, like I'm not really speaking it to anyone.
Mm.
So I was used to be a lot better, but I understand it completely. I can read it, I can write it. I can speak it, but I think that it takes me a while to be like, okay, I'm immersed and now I'm speaking it now. So when I'm in Lagos, I won't even think about it. I'll just like start speaking it to my cousins, because I'm around it. But when I'm not around it, it'll take me a while to like get into the groove of it.
Wow, that's so
No,
nice.
Are
yeah,
you guys fluent?
that's my
Oh
greatest shame. That's my
no.
greatest shame. I'm so
You know what? Like, it's so weird that I wasn't actually taught Yoruba. Like, I wasn't really like taught Yoruba. So I'm the eldest child, and obviously my parents are Yoruba. And when I was growing up, my parents would speak Yoruba to each other. And being like the eldest child till I was like 3 years old, of course I picked it up. And they didn't actually knew that I understood Yoruba till I was maybe 4 or 5, and they hid sweets from me, and they were saying to each other in Yoruba where they hid the sweets. And I went and got a little chair. It was in a cupboard, and climbed the chair and got the sweets. And they were like, "Oh crap, we cannot be Yoruba in front of this. We can't be hiding stuff for these kids
Mhm.
anymore." But actually, weirdly, I am the only one out of my sisters who understands Yoruba and can speak it.
I think it's just like I think over time they just put like less effort. So I can understand, but speaking is better, but reading and writing that would take me a while. Like yeah.
I think I just have a language. I'm a very like I think I can pick up languages as well. So if I can understand it, then normally I can read it. But I think it's the speaking thing. I think is just how it's letting go of the shyness and the self-awareness. And I think some of that is like, people shouldn't make fun of. I don't think it's right to make fun of anyone who's trying to speak a language. Like obviously you can gently roast them, but I just think it's really a valiant effort to like try and speak Yoruba. Like even when I speak Yoruba, obviously I was born in England, I was brought up in England, so I know that even though my accent's quite good, there are just some things that won't be as strong as if I grew up in Nigeria. And that's fine, everybody has an accent.
Yeah. My parents, okay, so from the comment section, Hamida says, my parents made us all speak it, no English allowed in the house. That sounds so.
I mean, I
That's so
think that's
nice.
great. I actually told my parents that, like, when I have kids in Jesus' name, I want them to be speaking Yoruba to them so that, they're fluent from when they're babies. Because I don't know who I'm going to marry. I don't know if he's going to be a Yoruba man. It might be. But if it's not, I want them to be able to speak the language. Everybody I've dated has been Yoruba, so I mean, the chances are high, but
Every one of them?
yeah.
Wow. You're so
Actually, no,
soldier.
I've had one Igbo guy, but yeah, mostly Yoruba.
You're a very strong soldier. Wow.
But you know what? I understand their madness. So for me, it's like,
You know
you
what to
know,
them, yeah.
Yeah.
madness meeting madness is fine.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
on the
that's a
same.
theory I have. Yeah, I think like Yoruba men and women, at the end of the day, even though there's some beef, you always come back to each other because no one will
Always.
understand.
I feel like I understand them, and the thing is, yeah, all men are mad, but I understand their madness.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it. And Yoruba men just have a sauce. They just have a sauce about them. Unfortunately, it's just irresistible to me anyway.
Yeah.
No,
No,
exactly.
for real. Sometimes I see them in that abada. I'm like, oof.
That's the thing. When they're in the agbada and when they're in the shades at the wedding, and so maybe it's a white agbada and then in the shades, game over, game over, game over.
It's just something about ooh. Anyway,
It's
uh,
it's hot. And a good little gold chain. You know I love a gold
Good
chain.
chain.
yeah, no. It's fine. Michaelia says, "Wait, is Bolu just Kiki reincarnate?" Valid.
Not quite. I think that Kiki's way cooler than me, actually, in reality. She's
Really?
Yeah.
definitely a cooler version than me.
Hmm. I'm not sure. I think low key,
Yeah,
you
I
have
think that.
some.
Yeah.
You have
It's
some
a
something
secret. I
in
don't tell how much of me is in Kiki so that people don't start looking at me like, okay, which one, try to suss me out. But I will say there is quite a bit of me in Kiki.
valid.
So like, yeah, a lot of people love Kiki, and I think, and as you know, she's very big on book talk. And just want to know, did you expect the response on TikTok, or was it like completely organic, and you were like, wow, this is happening, and this is so crazy?
Yo, I did not expect it at all. Like at all. All I wanted was for my people, my girls to get it and receive it, but I didn't know how that would manifest. And with you guys, especially, and your support, honestly, it means so much to me. It's beyond. And I think people always ask me like when you were writing it, like what, like who did you have in mind? And honestly, it's like you guys, like this is like for my baby girls, like it's really for young Black women, young African women, dark skinned women, um, and who are young, but also women who are older, just to know that they felt, even my younger self to know that they are heard and seen and felt. And so when that manifested, I mean, TikTok in general is great, like, but it's the Black girls on TikTok that have really carried me through. And honestly, it means so much. I do not take it for granted. So thank you guys.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
No, for real, honestly, guys, it means so much. It makes me laugh. And also, you guys are so effing funny. Like, you're so funny. And I just feel like the community that this book has bred are just very much in line with like the spirit of Honey and Spice and the Blackwell Baddies and Kiki and that kind of world. And it just makes me so happy.
Yeah, you
No,
always
it's
have our
good.
support. And I think like your own representation, my younger sister, she just turned 17. And she got it like a few days ago and she texted me. She was like, wow, like I know representation was important, but I've never like I now finally get it. And she was like, it was
Mm,
like an impromptu decision, but this is the best decision I've made. And I was like, yeah,
mm.
so you are reaching your audience.
Oh,
And
thank
yeah,
you. No, that really means a lot to me because, yeah, I was looking for those books when I was growing up too, you know?
Yeah. No, that's so real. I mean, you guys know, like, I go to a small liberal arts college in America, yes, but like literally the same thing of like, so reading that like in my dorm room and like I almost
Oh.
died. I had like a conniption. I was like, what the fuck? Like this is a bit too. It was a
and
bit
then
too
don't you
close
do
to
film?
home. I was like,
And
are you in my brain right
yeah,
now? Like,
Because I've
like
been
Rennie
through
also
it. Like,
does
I've been
film
through it.
also. Like Rennie is
There's the thing
actually
is,
very kiki.
sorry,
So Rennie is very kiki. Like she does
you're
film
very
as
kiki.
well.
mm,
So when she was reading
Hey,
the book, it was
Keeks.
please, not too much. Okay.
Because the thing is, yeah, but the thing is, there are so many Kikis in the world, and that's why I wanted to write for them and for us. Um, and it's funny because like you don't even have to have the exact same experience as Kiki in the same kind of location, but I feel like it's just there's touchstones that we can relate to. I didn't go to liberal arts university, but I went to a university in southern England similar to Kiki, and it was a campus university like Kiki, and I had very similar experiences where it's like, oh, this is white. And I found my family in the ACS, and I was surrounded by Black people and African people and Nigerian people in a way that I actually hadn't been before. like outside of my family and like the friends that I grew up with. This was the first time that I was like actually actively making friends in that community, and it felt like home and it felt so good. And I really wanted to capture that experience. And also, you know, writing in an ACS and in that kind of environment is a very easy way to like only write about Black people because it's just like it's just their own little world, and like you know, there's I don't think there's any white person in the whole book, and that was fun for me to do.
No, 1,000%. Yeah, but like, moving on. So let me tell you a quick little story about me. When I was in secondary school, we were doing like this short play for cultural day, and then we did like the wedding party. And I was just kind of in the mix of like the play and like the auditions, and the teacher who was handling everything was like, "Oh, so who are we gonna get to play the bride?" And she was saying all these other people's names, and I was like, "Oh, like, can I go for the role?" And she was like, "LMAO, no." She was like, "Yeah, like, you are way better suited to play like the like harried like wedding planner who like runs around and handles everything." So that was like really embarrassing, but it was also true. She was picking up on like some anxiety that I had, like, but it just felt really embarrassing
I'm not impressed.
to be like relegated to that role. But yeah, can you tell us an embarrassing story from your like secondary school days or from your high school days? Like, we want to know a bit about you.
Not gonna lie, I didn't really get embarrassed in school. The reason
Oh,
why The reason why is because I went to a girls' school, and even if I was nerdy, there's really no one who could beat me. Like, okay, so like I used to like legit, I used to write like Jane Austen rap musicals. I wrote a Pride and Prejudice one. Mr. Bingley was called Mr. Blingley.
not the one you're on Lin
Pemberley.
Manuel vibe.
Pemberley was called, yeah, for real, like way before he did it. Pemberley was called Pimply. I did a Little Red Riding Hood one as well. And do you remember Craig David's What's Your Flavor? I made the big bad wolf thing, What's Your Flavor? So those are the kind of things I used to do. I used to write stories, like I still used to write love stories, like in secondary school. And this girl I used to sit next to in maths found out, and she was a big reader like me. We were both in the library every lunchtime, and she was like, "I want to read them." And so I printed them off of the big family computer. They were written in size 14 Comic Sans. They were called things like Summer Lovin'. So you can play that game. Honestly, like they were really bad. They were really bad. What is that? It's like they were like basically like Wattpad stories before Wattpad was a thing. And I printed them off, and they were popular in school. And then I ended up printing them every week, and they became like a series. But I used to like write stories every week, and they used to be passed around the class, and people liked them and asked for the next installment. But the reason I say that is that in a normal school, those kind of things would be like made fun of, but nobody cared because it's like, well, it's a girls' school, small girls' school. She's nerdy.
Wow.
It's yeah.
So you're lucky
So I don't think
popular.
anything. Yeah, I don't think anything really like cringe happened because I feel like going to girls' schools in itself a cringe thing. So the cringe was innate. The cringe was innate. I couldn't really top the cringe. So yeah.
Wow.
I have to comment on that. One, do you have access to these rap musicals
No,
by
but I do have
chance?
do you know what? I do have Summer Lovin' somewhere. So that one day maybe we'll do another live and I'll do like a reading of Summer Lovin'.
Okay.
It's so
Ah,
cringe. I can't tell
please.
you. I can't tell you how cringe it was. What I like about it is even then the love interest was black. His name was Trey.
Mm.
But it's so funny because I was watching a lot of the OC at that time. And so it's so like Americanized as well. So, which is, and speaking in a way that I never spoke. So she'd be like, "Oh my God, you're such a jerk." I don't say the word,
Know
but
that.
like, so it's quite a trip to read back. I would definitely love to do a live reading for you guys one day. I would have to skip so much of it though, because it is so cringe.
Oh my, but that's also really funny because when I was in primary school, I also did something similar. Like I wrote stories and then I printed them and I was sending them at school. and then I hired like my friends to be workers. It was a very like weird like 2 weeks of my life, and then after that I was like, this is a lot of work, and I can't pay people well enough. So that was the beginning and end of my entrepreneurship journey. I was like, you know what? This is not owning a business is not for me.
No, but guys,
It's a lot of
please
work.
watch out.
Yeah.
Bolu is writing her debut book. Just watch out for that. It's gonna come out. I just want to let you guys know. I know she hasn't talked about it yet online.
Oh, you're talking about me or Bolu?
She has a work in progress. Sorry,
Oh, me?
Mo has
Oh.
a debut book. I'm so sorry.
See this drink you're drinking.
I need to stop. I'm sorry.
Don't stop. Keep drinking. It's fine. Can we ask what it's about? Or what genre at least?
It's going to be fantasy because I feel that's where my reading started
Exciting.
from. And it's so ever since I've been obsessed with the idea of like Halloween and Halloween in Lagos and how that would be so absurd. So it's something about looking at the hyper religiousness of Nigeria mixed with like a horror like fantasy element. And we have obviously a young black girl who has to save the world from, you know, the spiritual realm that we don't talk about because we're very Christian. So yes,
That's amazing. That is so amazing. Oh my goodness. We'll talk about this afterwards, but that is amazing.
Okay.
Well done. That is a book that's necessary and needed, and I like that you tap into the hyper religiousness of Nigeria because it's so interesting to me because obviously it's massively hypocritical, but also there is this whole spiritual world that is so ignored. And the spiritual world often happens in the church, you know. There's like this kind of like things that they call fetishness. So many people and members of the church are part of that world, but it's not spoken about. And I just find the dichotomy very interesting in this hyper religious world that isn't actually very moralistic at all. It's actually quite dark. That's great. Oh my gosh, that's so clever. Well done.
Thank you.
So, Bolu,
I really want to read it when it's done.
I'll send it through. I'll send it through when it's done.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's move on to a section we like to call hot seat.
Yes.
And in this section, we
Don't get
Oh,
afraid.
do I need shots for this?
in this section, no. You have 60 seconds or less to answer these questions, which are all based on your old tweets.
Okay.
Yeah. Mo, do you have the timer ready? I'm ready to go.
Great. So I'm gonna So I meant to like what?
Your answer.
So we'll ask you a question, and then you have to answer in 60 seconds or less. And
What is based on my old tweet?
old tweets, yeah. We saw something in your Twitter, and then we're just gonna ask you about it. No, it's no pressure.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have the timer ready, so whenever you're ready to start.
So our first question.
Okay.
Seriously, tell us. What is your problem with the sea? What did the sea do to you? We want to know exactly why.
The sea?
The sea, yes.
Oh, the sea. Listen, my people are from Lagos, and I am from the sea. I am from by the sea, and I think it's because of that. That's why I'm afraid of it, because I respect it. People misconstrue because it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I actually love the sea. I love looking at it. I love being by it. Like genuinely, I think the sea is majestic. I love the sound of it. But I understand the bad bitch she is, and I feel like people don't understand the bad bitch she is and don't have reverence for her power. Tell me, where is the bottom of the sea? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, and yet you're jumping inside. Does that make sense? No, just think about it logically. Think about the sea. Think about the ocean. Does it make sense to jump into something you don't even know? And every single day there is a creature that looks like it is from hell. Like it looks like a biblical creature from like Revelation.
Wow. Okay. That's valid. No, that's valid. I understand. Money, water, and everything. They're all in there. And I understand. So I guess no.
I love her, but I fear her, and I think that's how you should be. personally.
Okay, valid. Mo, ask the next question, please.
Okay. So this is a question that I've seen people ask, and I've just seen people comment on because of Honey and Spice. So people on Book Talk in general love smut, love the spicy scenes. You know, it's very nice to read about, and there's not a lot of like smut on page here. So we just wanted to know about your thoughts on it, like writing it. Is like, is it something that you're saving for sun under skin, or you just like it's
Yeah, I
something
love
you're
it. I just wanted to give you guys a little taste on Honey and Spice. And I also wanted to
Hello,
give,
Jay.
yeah, yeah, like I'm going in Sunman Skin. But for Honey and so actually if you read my books, I actually joked with my editor. Loving Color starts relatively chaste.
yeah.
Honey and Spice is a little bit sexier, and I feel like it's just gonna get sexier and sexier. But for Honey and Spice, it was important for me, a someone at university who was very cautious about like sex and thinking about my body in that way. I wanted to give space for girls who felt that way. You know, I wanted to give, and I wanted it to be okay for girls to be like, I've checked in with myself and my emotions, and I don't think I'm ready for sex, and still be sexy and still be sensual and still be loved on and still have that kind of erotic moments and be in touch with their bodies. Because, you know, Kiki is quite spicy. Like she moves
Yeah.
the where I kind of, she's low key a menace. Like when she was like in when she climbed into bed with Malachi, fell asleep, and then starts like rubbing up on his body, and then she's like, "Oh, do you want me to go, babe?" You know, like, so she's a sexy individual, but that doesn't mean she's necessarily ready for sex. And I wanted to write about a young woman who's like, I do want to have sex with you, and I know that for sure, but I'm not quite at that place yet. And then also write a man who's like, I do like you. Obviously, I want to have sex with you, but I'm cool to wait. You know, and it's that simple. So it wasn't really like, oh, I don't really want to make this sexy. I just wanted to make space for feeling sexy and having a hot scene that doesn't necessarily include them having sex because she's not necessarily ready, you know?
I love that so much. I love that. Wow. Woo. Don't let me remind. Never. Sorry.
Also, it was fun for me to write. It was fun for me to write because I wanted it to be a manifestation of their relationship. So, like, you know, Kiki is very sexy in many ways and takes the initiative, but also then Malachi takes over, and it's very much like a partnership, really. And also, of course, Malachi is very generous, so you know, I wanted to include that too.
Woo! Okay, next question. So we know that you're always on Twitter. You're always on, like your live tweets. Damn, like we love it. We love to see it. And you know, some of the people on the live today have been following you for years, right?
Oh no,
so
honestly, and it really means so much to me. Thank you, guys.
So we're just curious. Like we all know that Beyonce probably has her like burner accounts and she like lurks in these comment sections, but we are curious what your thoughts are on like book Twitter versus book talk, and if you also lurk low key.
Do I lurk? You know what? I try not to lurk. The reason why being with books, especially, and especially because it's sun under skin. First of all, with books in general, I don't want to hurt my feelings. It's my own feelings. So if somebody says something that's wrong, or like I disagree with, I'm gonna be irritated and I'm gonna want to talk back. But it's not a good look for authors to talk back. So I'm just gonna have to sit with my feelings by myself. I don't want to do that, you know, because obviously it's lovely for like people to say nice things, but not everyone is gonna say something that you like. And then what am I gonna do? Nothing. So don't want to do that. And also as an author, I don't want too much in my head because then the pressure becomes immense, especially when I'm writing a sequel, right? Honey and Spice is becoming so beloved and it means so much to me. But then I'm like, I don't want to let these people down, and it's going to be in my head when I'm writing this story and the sequel, and I really want it to be its own story without no influence from like readers at all. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it to be like fan fiction. I want it to be this the characters and this is what I think they're gonna do. Yeah, because one time I saw the top line of a DM. Somebody was like, I just figured out how Malachi would propose to Kiki, and I immediately deleted the DM because I was like, I don't want this in my head. I know how Malachi would propose to Kiki, and I will write that. But also, I don't want to read somebody else's perception of that because I don't want to like. First of all, I don't want to plagiarize that. Second of all, I don't want it to affect how I'm going to like approach these characters, you know? So yeah, so I don't really lurk, but I get tagged a lot. And when I get tagged, I go to the video. Because I'm like, okay, if they tagged me, they can't be being mean. So let me go and see it. You know? Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh no.
But it's okay, don't worry. I can work with that.
Can you leave and then come back? Maybe it will
No,
work.
ask the next question, please, because I usually it's okay.
Do you want to like go on? Oh, I'm gonna text you. I'll text you. But let's
I
see,
can't hear
what's the
shit
next-
right now, bro.
Don't worry. Let me see. What questions have you? Because we're nearing the end, we have about 15 minutes left. What questions have you not been asked on your press tour that you would like people to ask, or like just something that you wish, like, oh, I want people to know, but no one has asked me this?
That's a good question. I'm not sure because I don't really, it's weird because I don't really think about my books like, oh, I wish someone would ask me this because I just kind of like go with the flow. And also, I don't want to be too like, I don't want to be an author that's so precious about their work, like their work. They like dictate the questions that are asked of them. Like, I actually am very fascinated by the questions that people come up with. I think somebody asked me the other day, like, the process of like building Kiki and Malachi, and I found that very interesting. Like, how did I come up with Malachi and make him like a good partner for Kiki, and how did I come up with their dialogue? And I think I like that because like character work is so important to me. I spent a long time figuring out, okay, who is Kiki, who is Malachi, what are their likes and what are their dislikes. So when I put them in conversation to each other, it's weird. It's not like me being like, okay, and then they say this and then say that. I've done so much character work that it's really like them just talking to each other because I know exactly who Kiki is. I know exactly who Malachi is. And I've also figured out, I've come up with the main woman, the protagonist first, and then I think of her partner. So I've already thought about how Malachi will challenge her and what attracts them to each other. And so when I'm in that kind of space, it comes very naturally.
Okay, that's a great response, and I think like a lot of people have praised your writing, and we've all seen like you definitely know who your characters are, and it's just wonderful. Like I feel like your writing, especially from Love in Color, like the first time I read Love in Color, I was like, wow, this is an amazingly written book,
Thank you.
and this just like blew my mind even more.
Thank you so much. I think I love the art of writing, right? I love words and I love sentences and I love conjuring pictures, and I am a screenwriter as well, so I want to be able to use words to build like an image or a visual or a movie. And I think what really helps with that is actually deep down, low key, I'm a poet. Like I used to write poetry. And then I realized that poetry isn't very like, she can't hear me.
It's still not working.
Oh no.
You guys back? Can you guys hear me? Damn. This is so okay, so I started it again. Okay. Okay, you guys can hear me now. Okay. Let's hope I can still hear, but it's okay. It's alright. It's alright. It's okay. It's okay. Yes.
That's wonderful. Let me just charge this.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what
Oh my
happened.
gosh, please. It's totally fine.
Okay. Mo is coming now. I think she's trying to join. But yeah, what were you guys talking about?
Handsome. Okay, my phone might randomly just cut out because it's overheating. So just warning you.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't though. What were we talking about? building Kiki and Malachi in dialogue. And I was saying that I do a lot of character work so that when I write their dialogue, it's very free flowing. It's not me being like, okay, and then Kiki will say this and Malachi will say this. It's more like I figured out who they are, how Malachi will challenge her, what they're attracted to about each other. And so when I write the conversations, it's quite easy to me. And poetry. Thank you, your mom. Poetry as well. I was saying that so there's a reason why the way I write comes out the way I write, and it's because I'm a multidisciplinary writer, and I adore poetry. I'm low key a poet, but then I realized there isn't really no money in poetry, and what am I gonna do? Do like spoken word poetry in my 30s? No offense. So I was like, I need to write. I need to be able to incorporate my poetry into my prose because I'm a storyteller. And so that's really that's the kind of the outcome of that. And also I used to songwrite, I used to play the guitar, and I used to sing. So cringe. I've deleted all evidence of that from the internet, so nobody go looking for it. But I used to write songs, and so that all of that stuff is like put into my prose, you know.
I know you've spoken about having like different scenes that you wrote for Kiki and Malachi, but it didn't make it into the book. I just want to know, like, maybe what's one of like your favorite ones that you just thought was so fun to write and helped you figure them out even more?
Oh, like that's in the book?
That's not in the book, like one of the other scenes that you used to develop them.
Oh, okay. So actually, a lot of the stuff that was initially taken out, I just put back in. I just ignored my editor. So, like rom-com was like a very late addition because I was just like, I just want to see one more manifestation of Malachi's heart and and her being completely charmed for him. And another scene was, so I wanted a little bit of like the chemistry building, and so there wasn't much between like the first kiss um and chapter 22. So I wanted some like bits in between to like build their physical chemistry. So the main one that I really loved writing was actually after, I think it's actually after rom-com con, and like she stays over or something, and he walks her back to like her dorms, and they're talking the whole way, and but he struggles to like let her go after like he drops her off. And it was really a small thing. It's not like sexual, but I wanted it to be sexy because it's like, okay, these are two people who really want each other, and they're scared to cross the boundary now because now they're best friends, and now it's like shit. I'm in love with my best friend now. And I really wanted a bit of that, and I really enjoyed writing that because I was like, it felt like a turning point where Kiki was like, oh man, oh no, why won't he kiss me? Why don't I want him to kiss me?
Yeah. Okay, this is a fun one. I don't know if you guys have said this already, but we're moving on to a segment called True or False. And since we have been like on every step of your press tour, we kind of know a lot about your process and the book. So we'll ask you questions.
Thank you for that, by the way.
No, of course, we love to engage with you, of course. Like literally, like this is all. I also want the audience to know, like, this is all very organic. Like, I saw Mo had gotten the arc, and I was like, I need to get it too. And they were like, we need to push this in really hard because it's such an important novel. This is such amazing work. Okay, so the first question. Shade asks, what song would be Kiki and Malachi's? But we saw that you tweeted that Plastic Off the Sofa from Renaissance is perfect for them. True or false?
True, I did say that. But low key, and it is because it's like the most obvious one. But for me, it's towards the end. This is what I envision at Kiki and Malachi's wedding. The end of Virgo's Groove, when Beyonce is just like saying, "You're the love of my life," and it's Kiki just like just singing it out loud. She's like in her Beyonce groove, and she's like pointing out to Malachi and singing it. Like for me, that's actually the most romantic part of the album. Like every time I hear that bit, I cry. So yes, of course, Plastic Off the Sofa, but really and truly, it's like the end of Virgo's Groove because I feel like that just embodies their love.
And that's so beautiful, especially with today being Beyonce's birthday. Also,
It's true. But then also in Plastic of the Sofa, I do love when she says, even though I'm cooler than you, because that is also definitely a Malachi and Kiki thing.
That made me tear up. Oh my god, I'm not gonna survive Sun Under Skin. Like, yeah,
Oh
like
God,
Marisol,
I hope you guys like it.
like Marisol said, I started recommending Honey and Spice as soon as I finished my arc, which was in March. So I
Wow.
know once that Sun Under Skin PR hits, wow, like I'm not gonna be able to handle it. Like you guys
No
will see me in
sleep.
shambles. No sleep.
I love you guys
Don't
so much.
worry.
Thank you.
No, we love you too.
I love you too.
Mo, can you ask the question?
Yes, let's see. So what is your go-to writing soundtrack? And from all our reconnaissance, we said R&B, duh, true or false.
So what was the question? Was the last bit of the question?
Yeah, what is your writing soundtrack? And we said R&B, duh. Is that true or false?
I definitely, that sounds like me, so I think that's true. I think that's true. That's definitely something that I would say. Yeah. So my writing soundtrack is obviously R&B. Um, so it changes in terms of like new music and stuff like that. But in terms of like things I always listen to, that's always on the soundtrack. It's always like Say Yes. I don't know how why. Say Yes by Floetry is always on the soundtrack. So that's why it had to be in the book. It's always there. Um, do you know what? Like a lot of them are mentioned in Honey and Spice. So D'Angelo, When We Get By, Nothing Even Mattered by Lauryn Hill, and D'Angelo. And actually, D'Angelo Higher is one of my favorite songs. So like a lot of them are in the books. Like those kind of classics are always, they just help me get into the mood.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, we were right. So Shiva asks, why did you set your book in college? But because we've been on all your press tours, we know that you started writing this book right out of college, and it was actually the precursor to Love in Color.
Yeah.
Is this true or false?
True. Yeah, that's true. I started thinking of the idea after university, and it just seemed like a great way to explore all these themes in a very concentrated way. And I realized there's a gap between kind of and adolescence, kind of era, and you're in that time of your life and like young 20s. And I wanted something in that gap where you're just trying to figure yourself out, new adult, and you're figuring out your family and your desires and who you are and what you want in life and as a person and emotionally. And so it just felt really fun for me. And also I wanted to explore Black British culture in a pocket, where it's uninterrupted. And an AC has provided a perfect sphere for that.
Amazing.
And it really comes through. The Britishness, I was like, wow, yeah, this is a Black British
Yeah.
book. And I was so happy seeing like all the Black Brits really love it as well. That was like very
Yeah.
even for me.
But yeah, it means a lot to me because like I didn't want to, this is for my people, and also growing up, I connect to a lot of African American literature and television looking to be seen. I think there's something beautiful about the Black diaspora being unique and specific in its experiences, but also being able to find something that we all relate to in that. And so I felt very free in being very specific as I can with with Black British culture, knowing that my people will find it, even if they're Black British or they're in Nigeria or they're in Zimbabwe or they're in America. I feel like my people would get it. And so it was very freeing for me. I just saw that somebody asked about Kiki's name, and the answer is like, yes, I did. I spent a long time with all of their names actually, and with Kiki's name, it was a back and forth. And obviously, I always, when it's a Yoruba word, I always look at meaning. So yeah, Kiki's name was very important to me.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. Fidelia, the vicarious hero, and says it made me want to be a British babe so bad. And that's so true. And I think it's interesting that you mentioned like us in the diaspora kind of connecting on these points and diverging at certain ones. That both Mo and I grew up in Lagos, but because Black British culture is so like connected to like our experience as Nigerians, like we immediately were into the world, and we know, and like a lot of our friends like go to school in Europe, and so like it's just so It just makes sense. We know that you mentioned that you only have 45 minutes left. 45 minutes, and so
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
at,
I have 5 more minutes. I'm just scared that my phone's gonna start overheating, but we can just go on. We can go on for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any other names that you considered for Kiki? People want to know. I'm curious.
No, I don't know why I didn't. I think I just wanted a K, and it was between Kike and Kiki,
Hi, Kiki.
and then I just ended up with Kiki. I think that was what it was. Yeah. And then Malachi was with a C. And then when I thought about like, and I'm big on nicknames. And then when I realized that, oh, it'd be really cute if she had a nickname for him, and then I just put a K instead of a C. Just it all came together.
and that's funny because we don't have C in Yoruba. It's like Abi.
No, you don't.
No, yeah.
So
Mhm.
you had that
Exactly.
foresight.
Exactly. It was right there. I even thought about it. Yes. Let's go with that. But yeah, and I'm big on nicknames. I just feel like nicknames are such a shorthand for intimacy and familiarity. And I wanted that to be a signal of her being easy and comfortable around him.
And also, the Scotch nickname is so amazing. Like,
I don't know how I came up with it. You know, I really don't. I actually don't. I don't remember how I came up with it at all.
For me, I always use Scotch bonnets in my like when I make stew and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, this
It makes sense. And it's, you know, it's also very Yoruba. Like, it's just very, like, we love our spice. Very Nigerian. We love that stuff. So, Atarodo.
Oh, this is a good question. Linda asks, I plan on listening to the audiobook after reading the physical. What made you go with the narrator you chose? And I want to add on to that. Of course, I've seen Weruchi Opia in like I May Destroy You, which is amazing. So what was it like working with her and like figuring out the specific tone that you wanted for Kiki's voice in the audiobook?
I just knew it was her. Like, I just listened to her and I was like, oh, it's her. Basically, there were a couple of options. First of all, I gave my editor and everyone involved, like, okay, they have to be Nigerian, they have to be British. So then they sent me people, and then she did the best job, and she just captured the voice so perfectly. I haven't listened to the audiobook the whole way through because it's just so weird. She does such an amazing job, but it's so weird hearing someone else read my work, and it just makes me sweat. Like, it just makes me feel so strange. But the bits that I heard of her, because I made sure I listened to her in the pivotal parts and how she did Malachi's voice, and it was just so on point that I was like, it's her, you know? She just captures it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have many audiobook fans in the comments, so it's great to see. And I really love when authors are involved in the audiobook, especially Nigerian authors, because it makes a difference.
Yeah, it's so important to me. I mean, I work with an amazing editor who I wouldn't even work with if she didn't understand that about me, that I am a bit of a control freak, and I need to know how my work is going to be, you know, presented. So I'm really all over everything. Obviously the cover, yeah, and the audiobook narrator, everything, marketing, all of it, even down to my book launch, where like every single supplier was like from a Black owned or Nigerian supplier. It was very important to me.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yeah, the rum supplier was definitely Black owned. He even came along to the party.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's so sweet. I think now that's really all we have time for. I just want to thank
This
you,
was
Bolu, for
such a
coming
pleasure.
and
Honestly,
making
like I
time.
would go on for a long time. It's just that it's Beyonce's birthday and I'm going to a Renaissance party
As you
later
should.
today.
That's
As
so
you
on
should.
brand.
It's so on
Sorry?
brand.
I said that's so
It
on
is,
brand.
right? So that's literally, obviously, I could like literally talk to you guys for hours, but that's the only reason that it had to be cut short.
Yeah.
But I really want to do it again because honestly, I can't thank you guys enough and all of the community and Honey Inspire. You guys are the baby girls, man, and it really means a lot to me. And when you tag me and stuff, it just makes me laugh so much. It's so great. It's so clever. It's so witty, and it's so like warm and engaging. And I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining, guys.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing day and enjoy your Renaissance party. Thank you so much, everyone in the
Thank
comments for your
you.
amazing questions. We really appreciated this. Have an amazing day and the rest of
Yeah,
your
and
day.
if you have
You too, guys.
If you were still on the fence, buy onions right now.
Thank
Now.
you. And guys, can you please send me the recipe for the cocktails? I would want to make them out of my house, please. Thank you.
Okay. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
That was nice.
I know. Oh my god. Wait.
I'm gonna FaceTime you.
Yeah, let's just go on FaceTime. Thank you guys so much in the
Thank you
comments.
guys
Oh my
so
god.
much.
First of all, like everyone, Jamila, Key, Jack, Amruta, like everyone, Linda, like thank you guys so
Bio,
much.
Justine, Marisol,
Like
Liz, everybody.
we
Michaela.
really appreciate your questions. Okay. Thank you. Bye.